Hello, this is Chuck Byers. Welcome back, and this is Andy150, and we are working on texturing our sci-fi weapon. And so what we're going to do is we left off with our gun maybe in pieces, so we need to select all the pieces, marquee select it, go into mesh, and then combine. I've already got mine combined, so you just need to center pivot, delete by tapestry, and freeze transformations. When you're finished with that, you need to go to File, Export Selection, go into the option box, make sure it's OBJ, Export, click on Export, and go ahead and name it whatever you want, and then just export it. Okay, we'll go into the next video. I'll go ahead and open up Substance Painter, and we'll continue. Okay, it's time to textures. Let's go ahead and open up our sci-fi gun. Go to File, New, and we're going to keep it at ASM PBR Metallic Roughness, and we want to set this to 4096. We want to go ahead and click on our object. So let's go ahead and find our object. And let's see, where is it? 150. There we go. And scenes, and there it is. Open that up. And we're going to use UV tile workflow. We're going to convert UV tiles into individual texture sets. Legacy. Everything looks correct. Click on OK. Hopefully you don't get any bad errors. You can check. Mine loaded up okay, but I'm going to check my errors here. I'm going to click on the log, and it looks like unexpected illumination model skipped 1 of 2 lines with the same okay, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. If your model doesn't load up, you probably have some n-gons or some other modeling errors, so you might want to take care of those. You can do a quick reset of your model, meaning that you can click on your model and go to Mesh, Triangulate, and then save it out to see if that fixes all your issues. Otherwise, you'll have to go up into the cleanup tool like I showed you earlier and fix any errors. Okay? All right, so we've got our object. You can hold down the Shift key and right mouse button to move the light around. We want the light to be on the object. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bake maps. So we need to bake the maps. We're going to be using smart materials so we can add wear and tear. You're going to be graded on that this time. You're going to have to add wear and tear to the objects that are exposed. So we'll take a look at that and how to get that done. You guys should know how to texture by now, how to use the layers, so I'm not going to go into that. You're going to be texturing it yourself. I'm just going to get you started with getting into smart materials and how to add edge wear. So we're going to start with just one piece. I believe that is actually this piece right here, the very first one. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add that. So you're going to click on the first, I don't know where that piece is on yours, you'll have to find it. But you can turn these off and on to find out which one is actually selecting. You do not want to rename this stuff. Don't select it or double click on it and rename it. That'll mess everything up, so please don't do that. You can rename layers, but you cannot rename your UDIM tiles because that you'll get into if you want to do the extra credits. So we'll talk about that. What we're doing this time, we're not extra credit is always optional. You can do it or not do it. If you do it and you do a good job, you can get up to 10 points extra credit. The extra credit will be taking all your exporting your textures out and bringing them into Maya on top of the screenshots that you're going to be giving me for this assignment. This assignment's only asking for screenshots from Substance Painter. So we want a front perspective like this. Okay, we need it full screen. To get full screen, you have to hit the tab key. Okay, you hit the tab key and move this over. This will give you full screen. So you just get your weapon lined up, something like that. And you'll do a front perspective, you'll do a back perspective, and we want to move that light around. Okay, holding the control and whoops, there it is. The shift and right mouse button, get that lighting so it's always facing the area that you want to show off, and you want to make sure you compose that. So there's the back, and of course this would be the front. And we want a side view, so make sure we get a side view. So front perspective, back perspective, and then side view. Okay? All right, if you want to get me, and then maybe another one of just kind of show off a certain spot of your gun, and that's cool too. Whatever you want to do. But I need those three for sure to get you graded. You don't have to render this time. We're doing screenshots from Substance Painter this time. And the extra credit is basically exporting your textures out, getting them into Maya, just kind of like what we did with the Sci-Fi Crate, where you set up a diorama, walls and floor, and focus on that, making it look really good, light it, and get all the textures in the way they're supposed to, and then you render it out. And I think I need 2 perspectives, front and back. So get those rendered out and turn those in for extra credit. All right, so let's get started. Let's hit the tab key again so we can see everything. All right, so we're going to bake the maps. So let's go to mode and then click on bake maps. Otherwise, you can click on Control-Shift-B. Okay. We've got all our texture set list. All of them are in here. I've got 13. Output size, we're going to be 4096. And dilation width, we're not going to mess with. High poly parameters, we don't have a high poly, so we're just going to use the low poly mesh as a high poly. So we're going to kind of tell Substance Painter that we want to use the low poly, even though we've got some nice edges with the bevel edge. So this should turn out pretty good. If not, the only problem I'm thinking we're gonna have an issue with is baking has a hard time with holes. So we've got a big hole in here, and I've not baked this one yet, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect, but we will find out real quick if it's going to do it or not. If it does, great. If not, then we'll probably have to scrap this part. But we don't need to use a cage. I'm going to use 0.01 now. Normally, if I don't get a good bake, I would want to probably bring that to 0.5. But I thought I typed in 0.1, but 0.5. There we go. And 0.5. There we go. Okay. Otherwise, 0.1 will work. I'm going to try that first. But between 0.1 and 0.5, you just kind of have to test it out to see how it all goes. All right, so we're good to go. We want to go ahead and bake selected textures. Oh, wait a minute. We got to make sure we have a normal map. We don't need world space normal. We don't need an ID. We do need ambient occlusion, curvature, position, and thickness. So we'll do all of these. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and bake selected textures, and this may take a little while. Wow, that took a long time. So let's just put everything in perspective now. We did a lot of maps. We have over 13 UDIM tiles times normal. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 times 13 times the output size of 4096. That is a lot of storage. So if you guys find find yourself running out of RAM and crashing in Substance Painter, it's because of all of this. So what you want to do is probably not do 4096 by 4096. You probably want to do 2048 by 2048. You can, and if that doesn't work, then you're going to have to go down to 1024 by 1024. So might want to write that down if you do run into issues with baking and crashing and all that stuff. Okay, that's how you can fix it. All right, it's done. So let's go ahead and return to painting mode. Now you're going to want to use Smart Materials, so let's go ahead and find where Smart Materials are. These are the basic materials and these are the Smart Materials, so I'm going to click on that. And I'm moving this up. Now I'm not really interested in this, and I'm not going to get into adding labels and detail, and those are all things you have to add, just like you did with a crate. This is way too plain. You got a lot of empty space here to have fun with, adding lots of really cool detail in here. And I want you to be, have fun and be artistic and make this look more like a sci-fi weapon. It's you got a huge palette here to work with, and I want you to have fun with it. And you also need to have, you have to have at least 3 different materials. Okay, you can have more if you want. You have to have at least 2 labels. That would be like a warning label or some other kind of label. It can be text, it can be whatever you want. And then you have to have added detail. Now you don't have to have this covered from head to toe or from the top to bottom or side to side. It doesn't need to be every square inch doesn't need to be covered, but you do need to see some added detail in here, especially in this area here, and just have fun with that and try to find things that would look appropriate, that would look cool. And remember, this is where the light beam comes out. I think I have something special that I'd like to do with that, and I'm going to show you how to do that in Arnold, and we're probably just going to go ahead and texture it, but we'll probably separate that piece and use a different material, but to make a glow and stuff. So anyway, let's get started. So you have these Smart Materials. Okay, you can load your own in. I've got lots, but I haven't loaded any in just because I have the same as you have. But Smart Materials add grunge and grime and really cool things you wouldn't normally see. And a lot of these don't have wear and tear. You just kind of have to look and see if they do. So let me show you what some look like. So here's one that doesn't have wear and tear, but it does have grunge. Okay. Here's one that has wear and tear. Let's get to one that's really good with wear and tear. That has a little bit, but not much. But this one here, this one has wear and tear. So let me throw this on so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm going to put it on the bigger piece here. All right, so you can see that it has wear and tear, and depending on how you want it to look, it's got a flat paint on there. These are really good. This comes with, and let me pull some of these. Let me add this to the top piece. This is just examples of wear and tear. Okay, so you can see that we've got some wear and tear in here. Of course, you can go into the material itself and find out what you can do with these. Okay, you can change the color, the base color, by just clicking on these separately and moving around, finding out what you can do with these. Some of these are very complex, some of them are not so complex, but you can change the color of these, the base color, by just going in there and selecting them. Okay. All right, so you start basically with the basic color, and it's kind of hard to tell here. There we go, because we got such a big area here. There we go. So if I click on this one, I think this is our base color, and we can change that base color to a different, whatever color you want. So you're not stuck with the color, okay? So that's the first thing. And these are, you just have to play with them until you get to the color that you want. And then, again, I don't know every single attribute of these, because I don't use them all the time. I got some other ones that I use, but you can mess around with the grunge, the AO grunge, and it takes a while for it to update, so just be patient with that and just kind of mess around with that to see what it looks like and what it changes. Okay. The curvature, let's see what that does. Some of these don't do much, but some do. Just kind of have to play with it until you find the one that really looks, or that works best for you, and just kind of mess around until you find. And that's the dirt. Let's see here. Go in here to, that looks like the roughness variation, the paint, mask, AO, curvature, and there it is. I found it. It's the mask builder on this particular one that I can change the curvature amount to whatever I want. Okay, here we go. Make it a little bit more if I want to, or a little bit less. Let's kind of mess around with those parameters. It just takes time to get it exactly the way you want it. Okay, very cool. And this one has a lot of stuff in it. Scratches. We've got some scratches here. Turn that down, turn that up. Oh, that was wild. Okay, so you get the idea. So you can do a lot with these smart materials, and you can change the colors. You're not stuck with anything. You can change the underneath color. So there's a lot of really cool things. What I don't really want to see is just you slapping something on and calling it a day. Anybody can do that. So I'm asking you guys to add wear and tear, and if you don't add it, I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't add it, it's 5 points off. So that goes from an A to a B. I do want to see that, and I think you can do some really cool things with it. So spend some time, and when you're texturing, now when you're all finished with adding the details, now that's the normal, like that, the details like we did with the crate. You're going to be adding these details you can see here onto this, and you can do that before or after you add a texture. So I would do the texturing first, and you can do whatever you want. You can do the texturing first and then add the detail. And we've got plenty of normal maps in here. I also think I gave you guys some too to put in. So look at those. But you've got plenty to mess with and add a lot of detail to it and make it look really interesting and make it yours. You know, right now you're just following my modeling and stuff, but now you can go in there and make it yours, do color combinations and enjoy and have, you know, make it look really sharp looking. So anyway, good luck and have fun. Again, I need to have screenshots. Okay, so of your so when you're done all texturing, get it all finished, you need labels too, and the labels will be under your textures, I believe. So you put your textures in here, and the labels, you can bring labels in from Photoshop or labels that you find on the internet, or you can use what they have in here. Okay, so there's a lot of cool things you can do in here, and again, this goes back to what we did with the Sci-Fi Crate. So if you did not get the texturing done for the Sci-Fi Crate in Substance Painter, then you will have to watch those videos again and refresh your memory, and so you can get this done. So you can add the detail and add the labels. So added details and labels. Make sure you read the grading rubric very carefully so you know what to turn in, and the deliverables and turn in folder. Okay. All right. Good luck with the texturing. And if you're done texturing, let me show you if you want to do the extra credit, this is what you do. So once you get the screenshots and you want to save your scene, so when it's all done, click on Save As, and you want to save your scene in Substance Painter just in case you want to come back to this and maybe make changes. But then you go to export texture. So say, just for instance, I have everything done. So you're going to want to tell it where to go. Okay. It can be on your desktop, whatever you want, but I usually put it in my project folder in the source images. So you place it there, whatever. Just for this reason, I'm just going to select the desktop, but I would highly recommend source images on your project folder so they're easy to find. Set that up and then go into what output that is, and we need to find, scroll up, and it needs to be Arnold Udum Legacy. Okay, PNG, and we'll just keep it as Dilation Infinite. Output templates needs to be same thing, Arnold Udum Legacy, and of course then we find out what we don't need. Now I'm going to show you how to do something different. I don't want to use the emissive, so I'm going to click that off. I don't need the height, so I'm going to click that off. So we just need a base color, metalness, and roughness, and normal. Now this is, you only do this if you want to do the extra credit, okay? Worth 10 points. So when that's done, you go to a list of exports. It tells you exactly how many you have, which is 13. And go back to settings. You're all set up, and then click export. And it's going to take a while because there's a lot of Udum tiles. All right, when that's done, then you can watch a video on how to add the textures in Maya, and how to light and how to render, and it'll be the references from the Sci-Fi Crate. So you'll just have to watch that again and follow along. It's the same exact thing that we did. The workflow is exactly the same. So just follow those videos, even though it's the Sci-Fi Crate and not this one. I'm not going to sit here and make videos again and again and again over the same thing, and I think that's boring for you guys too. So you know what to do. If you need some refreshing, then watch those videos again. If not, go for it, and good luck, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.